Okay, so an NFL insider just said that Maxx Crosby could be traded this week, and the Eagles were mentioned. Meanwhile, another report talks about Philly making an in house splash. So much to break down, including a new addition to the offensive staff and A.J. Brown's agent gauging trade interest, although the Eagles are unserious in trading him. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and it's the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with the birds, do me a quick favor, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So, as the Philadelphia Eagles continue to scout players at the NFL Combine, they also are making moves behind the scenes. As Mike Garafolo tweeted yesterday, former Texans quarterback coach Rod Johnson is joining the Eagles coaching staff, sources say. Johnson and Houston mutually parted ways so he could seek other opportunities. He heads to Philly to work alongside head coach Nick Sirianni and new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about the move, but I love it. The Eagles have had an eye on Gerard Johnson for a minute, and it's another cook in the kitchen for this new offensive staff. Remember, the Eagles interviewed 17 candidates for the OC job. Now, Sean Mannion got the job. However, two candidates that interviewed must have impressed because the Eagles found a way to retain them. Don't know what title he'll have because he can't be quarterback coach. That's Park Frazier. Can't be passing game coordinator. As I said, that's Josh Grizzard. I'm thinking offensive assistant, assistant to the head coach, because of the relationship he had with Nick Sirianni when they were with the Colts. With that being said, some people are talking about CJ Stroud's down year with him as the quarterback coach. I don't put the blame on him. If you watch the Houston Texans play, they had a bunch of injuries and a bad offensive line. And look at that wide receiver core. It's good when it was healthy, but they were injured too. At the end of the day, Deron Johnson's just going to be in here to help out in any way he can. Sean Mannion's going to run the show, but the more offensive minds in the room can definitely get us out of some sticky situations. Moving on to a Maxx Crosby update per Albert Breer, he said, and I quote, I'd lean towards Maxx Crosby trade happening, and maybe this week with teams like Dallas, Chicago, Baltimore, Buffalo, New England, Philadelphia, and the Rams keeping tabs on his availability. Now, granted, Howie Roseman at the Combine did talk about doing our own in-house business, maybe not making a big-time splash in free agency, although we will add people for sure. However, if the Eagles were in on the Micah Parsons trade last year, we are definitely still going to keep tabs on a player like Maxx Crosby. You pair him up with Jalen Carter, who's getting healthy. Offensive lines across the NFL are going to be in trouble. Remember, Parsons himself said that if he did come to Philly, it would be to play alongside Jalen Carter. Real recognize real, talent recognize talent. So Maxx Crosby on the Eagles defensive line, he would absolutely have his best year of his career. Flipping things over to Jalen Carter, since we just talked about him, John Clark tweeted this. Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter is training this offseason and building his shoulder up again. He is training with Julian Allen. Julian says Jalen was battling bilateral shoulder issues from the start of training camp and throughout the season. So again, a down year for Jalen Carter is still a good year for other D tackles in the league. He was dealing with this injury, not on one shoulder, but both shoulders the whole season long, and still was getting double teams and was low key productive, at least disruptive throughout the season. We saw in 2024 a glimpse of Jalen Carter's potential, and I think in 2026, we're going to see the full potential in a contract year. Jalen Carter is going to eat. This is also why, if we don't go the Maxx Crosby way, which we'll see how things play out, the Eagles can make a splash in house. Thomas R. Peterson tweeted, Eagles will try to make in house splashes in attempt to re sign Jalen Phillips. Extending Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter is on the table as well, per Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. This to me is the most realistic route. Howie Roseman talked about it. We already got great players. Pay them and keep them in the building. Jalen Phillips, I think, will be cheaper than Maxx Crosby, although there are some conflicting reports of him getting a huge bag. I think that is going to be the sole factor if the Eagles can get him and or not, because he doesn't deserve a Maxx Crosby bag until he proves it. On that note, Jordan Davis absolutely deserves an extension. Not only is he a leader on and off the field, He continues to get better, and it will save money in 2026 on the cap. So there's no reason not to do it. As for Jalen Carter, I think you got to do it this offseason. Yes, you're betting on the two shoulders getting healthy and him getting back to playing all pro D tackle football. But if you pay him now, it's going to be a lot cheaper than if you pay him at the end of 2026. Let's just say his shoulders are good and he goes out there and balls out, maybe gets 10 plus sacks at the D tackle position. Do you know how much he's going to cost then? Sheesh. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the two shoulders, paying him now or risking a breakout season in 2026 and the bag pretty much doubling. On that note, since we are in the all season where trades happen all the time throughout the NFL, let's talk about trading on an app called Polymarket. Like, for example, recently the Sixers played the Pacers and Joel Embiid was finally back in the lineup for the Sixers. As for the Pacers, they were missing a lot of players. So the Sixers buy in was a little over 76%. So I let the game play out, knowing that the Sixers have been losing games without Joel Embiid and he's just getting back. So they might start out slow. And that's exactly what they did. With 2 minutes and 35 seconds left of the first, the Sixers were trailing 26-33, and their win percentage dropped all the way down to 40.8, and that's where I bought it, knowing that the Sixers are the way better team and they were not going to lose to the beat up Pacers. And by the second quarter, with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left, the Sixers took a 49-40 lead, and the win percentage went all the way up to 83.7, which is over 100% profit. So I traded it in. Sports books won't allow you to do this. They lock the lines the second momentum swings. Polymarket allows you to snipe the efficiency live in game to make money on your ball knowledge. So what are you waiting for? Polymarket is legal in all 50 states. Download the app now to get to the top of the wait list only by using my link in the description. Back to the Eagles, and of course, let's talk about the A.J. Brown drama. Word on the Bird tweeted over the weekend, the Patriots have reportedly explored an A.J. Brown trade, but feel the Eagles' current asking price is unserious, per Andrew Callahan. The key word here is unserious, and that pretty much describes the whole A.J. Brown trade saga for the last couple years. It's been unserious. It's already been talked about throughout the combine week that the Eagles are not actively trying to trade A.J. Brown. If you call us, we'll listen. That's it. And Howie said, if you start asking about a great player and don't come correct, click. It's his job to listen, but he also will hang up on you. Other teams in the NFL, mainly the Patriots, think that they can just call up the Eagles and be like, hey, we're going to offer you a second round pick. Give us A.J. Brown. No, it don't work like that. I heard reports that it would at least take a first and a second. And if you're not willing to pay it, stop calling us. Simple and plain. What more does Howie Roseman got to say about the situation? If you want to talk about A.J. Brown being upset with the Eagles, cool, let's talk about it. What was he upset about? The offense. And that's what we tried to fix this offseason. A.J. Brown seems excited, and so does Sean Mannion about working with A.J. Brown. At the end of the day, I ain't going to believe it until A.J. Brown comes out and says, I want to be traded. Here's the new report out today. A.J. Brown update per Albert Breer. Brown's camp has done recon too on potential landing spots in which have a genuine interest. So while Howie Roseman quietly has had talks, Brown's side has gauged whether there's greener grasses elsewhere. What are we doing here? How is this really even a new update, Albert Breer? It's pretty much the same old stuff. If you're A.J. Brown and his agent and you keep hearing trade talks, whether it's the Eagles saying we're open to it, we don't want to, but we're kind of open to it. If you hear every media outlet saying this, that, and the third, why wouldn't you at least see what your client's worth? At the end of the day, this is a business on both sides. I'm not saying any player can't be traded. I just don't think A.J. Brown is leaving the Eagles. I think he will be here in 2026. And if I'm wrong, for the people who said I was wrong, I'm going to virtually shake all your hands. At the end of the day, I want the Eagles to be better than they were last year. And I don't think losing A.J. Brown makes us better. A.J. Brown said multiple times that he knows what he needs to fix. A.J. Brown has been upset. Like I said, he could have handled it better, and he has to handle it better going forward. But every time he gets a mic in front of him, he trolls, he jokes, but he still says, Philly's my home. He never said he wanted to be traded out of his mouth to the public until that happens. I'm just going to wait and see. We going to see who's right. You, me, and him, because it's 50-50. When I go live, I see people in the chat saying he's staying. I agree with you, Philly Mike. And people I love and respect saying, Philly Mike, I love you, but you wrong. So we are going to see. At the end of the day, we are all Eagle fans, not AJ Brown fans. We are fans of him because of the player and him being an Eagle. But the Eagles will move on with or without him. I just really want it to be with him. Sean Mannion wants him. Let's just see how the offense looks with two dominant wide receivers, a running back, a revamped offensive line, MVP, Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts throwing a rock to them with great concepts. Again, I should have went live to talk about this. I love y'all to death. Until next time, you know what time it is. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell, swipe over and hype up the video and leave a Philly strong in the comments. I don't even know what I'm talking about. That is what the AJ Brown topic does to me. I didn't even talk about these two, but they're locked down. We'll talk more about the combine and everything. I love you to death. We out.